Hey YouTube, Trains and Destinations here, and today I'm going to give a very brief look at this very old Chromebook, and it's a bit of an unfortunate story. So this here is the HP C1 Chromebook. This was a business Chromebook that came out back all the way in 2016, so we're talking about a laptop as of the time of this recording that's almost 10 years old, 9.5 years old, and it's quite a shame. So I bought this recently from eBay, although I am returning it because it's actually not usable, and you'll see why in a sec. But just take a look at the laptop. For a 2016 laptop, I mean, look at this thing. It is so unbelievably thin. It is very thin on all sides. It's also in really good shape for being as old as it is. Now, as far as port selections, it's also quite modern. It has two USB-C ports. And you have to remember, this was during a time when most Chromebooks still had proprietary chargers. They didn't all use USB-C. So this having USB-C, quite nice. So you had that, USB-A, headphone jack, and then you had a micro SD card slot on the right-hand side, as well as this pretty beautiful chrome hinge in the back. The build quality is really good. It's all aluminum, and this particular one is in really good shape. And then as you can see, opening it up, it does have a full backlit keyboard, so that's nice to see. It is quite old. It does have a Core M5 processor, if y'all remember what that is. So very old processor in this. Like I said, this is a almost 10-year-old Chromebook, but this particular one is in good shape. You have front-firing speakers, small by today's standards, but still, decent touchpad. And then the main thing is when you look at this. So if you look at the display here, the bezels are quite big. These are pretty big bezels, so that's one way to know this is an older device, is the big bezels. But that being said, though, this is a very good display. This is an 1800p display. This is a quad HD display in 2016. This is a beautiful display. Unfortunately, it's glossy. It's not matte. But that being said, this thing is so sharp, so color accurate, gets decently bright. It is a really good display, I have to say. It is a really good display. And I will say that, in terms of the performance, it's not bad. So if I go to, say, CNN, or let's go to, I don't know, weather.com, as you can see, this thing is still pretty fast, I have to say. So that's pretty good. I'll load the National Hurricane Center. I also say that the volume is pretty good too. So if I were to play this video,
top of the troposphere where our weather occurs, and as soon as that happens, then we get changes in the jet stream, and we can see the impact of that when we pull up the next chart here. You can see an animation.
So as you can hear, these speakers are pretty loud. They're pretty clear. So it's quite good, I have to say. And as far as like looking at news articles, text is nice and clear. Again, this is a really good display. Unfortunately, the Achilles heel of this laptop is you might be able to tell this looks a little old. This design language looks a little old. This too. And so the kicker is when I go into Chrome and we go ahead and we take a look. So first we'll look at the storage. This has 32 gigs of storage, has 8 gigabytes of RAM, so that was pretty ahead of its time. But if we go ahead and take a look at the diagnostics, this is the problem. This is the last automatic software and security update for this Chromebook. To get future updates, upgrade to a newer model. So it turns out that this particular Chromebook stopped receiving updates in June of 2023. So at this point, this Chromebook is 2 years out of date on software updates, and I think you can kind of tell, looking at the Chrome browser, it looks a bit out of date. And yeah, that's because unfortunately, this Chromebook has not seen updates for the last 2 years. And unfortunately, while for right now it's kind of usable for the most part, as time goes on, less and less websites will work, less and less apps will work, because unfortunately this is not getting updates. I'm guessing this got close to the full 10-year suite of updates, or maybe this is perhaps before the promise. This is one of the laptops that came out before the laptops that Google said would get the full 10 years of updates, because 2023 is technically before, that's not 10 years after this was built. So I think this laptop unfortunately came out before Google said that they were going to give 10 years of updates to Chromebooks. But unfortunately, because of that, this thing is not usable. It's an Achilles heel to it. And that's really a shame because, as you can see, it's in really good condition. It's in really good shape. But unfortunately, it's obsolete. And that's all there is to say about it. Nice laptop, but obsolete. And that about wraps up for that one.